Hello, and welcome to Stuck in Traffic with Wolf Gorlick. A couple of minutes of IT security, unscripted, off the cuff, usually in the car, usually in the mornings. Some of those things may or may not be true today. Today I bring you 3 tales from the crypt, or vault, or however the cool kids are storing their passwords these days. And I hope you appreciate kind of like the shadow, like I'm in the shadows. And I shall tell you the story. All right, tale number 1 of 3. Imagine, if you would, a young lady, a girl, right? Somewhere between a kid and an adult, entering into those final years of her schooling. Imagine this girl, if you would, is on her first day of school. And imagine, if you would, that she checks her email after being given her email, only to realize that all the passwords have been set to the student ID. Now that alone may scare you, right? Because the student ID, cleverly hidden on the badge that every single student must wear at all times, usually around the lanyard around their neck. But if that isn't enough, said girl, being smart and perhaps related to me, and perhaps steeped in security awareness, goes to change her password. And is successful in doing it, only to discover that there is a help desk feature that, should anyone forget their password, you can click a button and it automatically reverts the password with no prompt back to the student ID. The terror, right? I mean, so wait a minute. You can have your password whatever you want, but anyone at a click a button with no authentication can reset it back to a student ID that is around everyone's neck? She may have been a little bit more angry than I am, but either way, not good. That's story number 1. Story number 2. Story number 2 happened when I was at a cafe. Was it over the summer? I was at a cafe, beautiful day, very sunny, much like today. I was talking with the director of application development. We were having coffee, as one does. I was talking about, using dynamic analysis and static analysis, code review, to drive a security program, and he was pointing out the limitations of such thing. And this is the story he told me. They had this application that they were supporting. They ran it through static analysis. They cleaned up all the bugs. They ran through dynamic analysis. They cleaned up all the flaws. And they thought, after spending lots and lots of time, that the passwords are safe. They were in a password vault. They were encrypted. They were salted. They were secure. There was a reasonable amount of complexity. The application went live, and they went and did an application pen test and found that there was a password reset feature protected by nothing more than a CAPTCHA. So if you could have a bot that did a CAPTCHA, or use your own CAPTCHA, you can put in your username and reset the password to anything you want. Not something that's going to be caught up by dynamic analysis, not something caught by static analysis, something caught in an application pen test that effectively undermined the entire security of this application. Story number 3 comes this week. I was trying to be probably as stereotypical hacker as I could be, right? The sky was the color of a TV tuned to a dead station. And if you're not old enough to read Gibson, that's a quote. If you're not old enough to remember, TVs used to be gray, not blue. Okay, never mind. Now I'm feeling really old. But it was a gray sky, slight rain. We were under a canopy. We were having some sake, some hot tea, and some raw fish, and it was delightful. And we were talking about ICS, embedded systems, something I'm going to be digging into a lot in the coming year. And he told me he did a vulnerability assessment, simple assessment of his systems. Pulled a couple manuals, looked for default passwords. In one of them he found, I kid you not, password reset instructions, where every system had a default password, and if you keyed that password in, you could reset the password to anything you want, thereby undermining the infrastructure of all these ICS devices. So, moral of the story, Check your password resets. Scary, scary things will be found. Have a good one.